Okay.
Okay, so we're good to go.
We're good to go, I think. Um, I'm just going to go over and pull up the questions because I forget.
Yeah, I know everybody has to, I think everybody has to state their name. Um, I think that's what it said on the discussion board in the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah. Um, okay.
So I'm Shay Munns.
Okay.
I'm
I'm Suzanne Trepanier.
I'm Paige Dutel.
All right, sweet. So let's start off, right?
Sure. Do you want to kind of lead the discussion, Shay, this time? And then maybe we can kind of rotate that around too in the next.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Let- I'm trying to find where that is on the.
So, Paige, this has nothing to do with it, but I love the color of your bedroom.
Oh, thank
My,
you.
my daughter, she's really into bright green too, and so her room is almost the exact same colors as your room.
That's funny. My other three walls are actually orange, so it's only those two walls that are green.
Wow, that's very colorful.
So I think for this discussion is that we're just supposed to define what the family is, right? That's what I understood from the discussion board. So I'm kind of like, is that right? Or do you guys think?
I think that's in a nutshell, but I think that there were some questions about um, like what we think young adults feel about the family, like if they really understand the significance of the family.
Okay,
You
yeah,
remember that question?
there's some. So I think we're supposed to, it says the group activity is to complete this as a group, compromising necessary through your discussion to arrive at a final answer that best represents the thoughts and ideas of the entire group as to the definitions of a family, and
Right.
then to now answer these questions.
Okay.
So I'm looking at I guess we can define a family and then
Yeah.
do that, but the definition she had on there was that a family was, it was like we were supposed to put them in order of what we believe,
Yeah.
but it was like a fundamental social group in society, typically consisting of a pair, I can't see where it went, of one or two parents and their children. Um, Two was two or more people who share goals and values, have long-term commitments to one another, and usually reside in the same dwelling place. Three was all members of a household under one roof. Four was a group of persons sharing common ancestry. Five was lineage, especially distinguished lineage. And then six was a group of like things, like a class. And seven was a group of individuals derived from a common stock, the family of human beings. So I think we were supposed to put those in order. Um, so for me, I guess ranking them out of the six, I said that the first one would probably be my top, and then the second one was my second choice. The fourth one was my third one. The fifth one was my fourth. Um, the sixth, the third one was my fifth one, sorry. The sixth one, number six, I guess I put as being number seven, a group of individuals, and then number six in the group was the last one. But I guess it's easier if you have that kind of pulled up to see what those are. But what did you guys consider to be the definitions?
Well, I thought it was kind of tricky because in different circumstances, each of those definitions would probably be the one that would be the the dominant. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like in a traditional family, we think of that as two parents and kids, right? So that's that's how I think most of us would like use as our first definition of the family. But I think that a lot of times, like our ward family feels almost for some people kind of substitute. Like I have a friend who is a single mom, um, and she really depends on the priesthood leaders in our ward more than like I would, being married to a priesthood leader. And the ward really is her family. Like she's the only member in her family. She's a convert, so she's really connected and bonded with the Relief Society sisters. And so I think that, I don't know, I think it's just, I felt like that the different things that we were given were not, um, they just weren't exact, because our lineage also is really important, especially in the church. When we think about temple work and, doing our family history and all that stuff, lineage, I think, would be right up there, too, with the definition of the family. So, I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts.
I thought very similarly to what you did. I mean, I did number them, but a lot of them I thought could have been the same number, and it depends on how you look at all of them from different circumstances. So mine were kind of all over the place.
I agree with you guys. I mean, it was hard to do. I was like, I don't know. I have it like on my paper. I'm like, no, scratch that one out and put that as number this. Scratch it out, put it as this. So I think it was hard. And I like what you said, Susie, about just, I guess, the different circumstances of different things are more important, or what you would consider, I guess, to be the definition of a family.
Yeah. I think that one thing to kind of remember, especially in the world that we live in today, is that it's okay to talk about the ideal for a family. Like, I have lots of single mom friends, and I would never say that their family isn't as valuable as my family. But at the same time, I think it's important for us to advocate for the ideal, for a temple marriage, for children born in the covenant, for families to be sealed together, that kind of thing. I think that a lot of times as church members, we're afraid to step on people's toes, and we do need to be careful about how we say things, but at the same time, it's okay. I remember as the Young Women's president talking to young women, and we only had, I think it was 3 of our laurels who came from a traditional type of a family situation where there was mom and dad sealed in the temple, the typical traditional Mormon family. And the rest of my girls, I had like 13 laurels, the rest of them came from homes of divorce or step family situations. And so when I would talk about the importance of temple marriage and stuff, I never wanted to make them feel like they came from less of a situation, but I did want them to make goals to get married in the temple. And so I still wanted to talk about the ideal family, so that, because that's going to be their most important relationship, is the one that they have with their spouse. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like that was super important to still emphasize that the ideal is to get married in the temple and to have children born under the covenant. That's what we're striving for. And that doesn't mean it's going to happen for everybody, but when you're 17 years old, it's okay to really set those goals to strive for that. Hey, did Shay just pop up?
It looks like it. I can't hear her now, though.
Yeah, now I can't hear. No.
I can't.
Can you hear me now?
Now,
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why I have to have a headset on, but anyways. I agree with you, Susie, about what you were saying. So so I guess what would you guys say is the definition of a family. It varies from person to person and different circumstances. Is that kind of what we're, I guess, going along with of what we consider? I guess it changes from everybody's situation.
Well, I think we still have to be more solid about that there is an ideal family, and that
Oh,
there is an ideal family, and that is a celestial family, an eternal family. Um, but we have to also recognize everyone has a different situation, and that those families are valuable.
so sorry.
Go ahead.
So would our, I guess, definition, I'm trying to like think of what we're going to say in that thing, in the
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah.
So our definition would be like of an ideal family, that it would be somebody with two parents who are, do you want to say married in the temple, or do we want to just say dad and their children, kind of, or?
I would go ahead and say married in the temple, because I mean we're all members of the church, and you
That's
know
true, yeah.
we believe in an eternal family. We don't believe in just
Yeah.
a temporal family. So yeah, if you guys think if you guys feel like that's a good way to define it, then that's kind of how I'll put it in the summary.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that's good.
I like that. So the questions that we're supposed to answer now are, what was challenging about this activity? And I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, of just like how the different, I mean, everybody has different circumstances and everything, and it was hard I mean, like, to put those in order. I mean, at least what I got from you guys, that it was definitely hard to decide which ones were more important, just depending on the different families.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay, and then the next one is, how well do you think the average young adult understands the doctrine of the family? I don't think, I did write, because these were before. Let me look at what I said. I didn't think that a lot of people, especially outside of the church, really understand, I guess, the doctrine of the family. And I think that sometimes within the church, I think some people do and some people don't. I feel like more young adults understand what it is if they're members of the church than if they're not. But I still think that, I don't know if we all comprehend. I mean, I know I don't, like, everything that consists of it. I mean, there's so much to the gospel that we're not going to understand every little piece of it while we're here on earth, but that's just kind of what I thought.
I think you're probably like thinking the same way as me, but I was curious because I'm not a young adult anymore. I have young adult children, and so I was curious, as you guys are out, with your friends and your peers and stuff, what if you feel like people your age really understand, like, that the family is really what it's all about. Like, it's why we're here. We're here to be sealed and to have families, because that's our eternal posterity. That's our inheritance. That's what will go on after this life. It means more than just what's happening in this life. And so I'm wondering, as you guys are out there, do people think of it that way, or do they think of it as more of marriage is for when I find the right person and I fall in love, and it's an institution that's important. It's good for society, and it'll be good for me. It'll be better for my health. It'll be better for my, emotional well-being. All those, or do people really understand? No, this is a commandment. It's something that you guys need to be pursuing, not just kind of waiting for it to happen.
See, I think it's hard because, well, now my husband and I, we have a little baby, but we hang out with, I guess, other married.
Yeah.
So we have all been through the temple, and we kind of have that understanding of a little bit of what I mean, how important the family is. But I'm trying to think back of like when I was single, and even I had a class last semester and we talked about marriage and stuff. And I think within inside the church, I think there's people that is like, well, I'm supposed to get married and stuff, but I don't think it's like like this is why I'm here on earth is to have a family. I think you go through those times in life, but
Yeah.
then we talked a lot about in this class about what the world thinks of family. I mean, the world, but outside of the church, I guess,
Yeah.
um, thinks about family, and it's not important anymore.
Oh,
It's like, well, I want to get my college degree, and I want to like do the things that I want in my life, and then maybe if I find somebody, then I don't know, I'll live with like a lot of it. It's like they'll cohabit first, and then
yeah.
okay, then I'll get married. Maybe if it's the right timing and if I have money,
Right.
it's kind of, I think it's the last priority for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. And I'll tell you guys, I'm not a member, so I'm still like learning and stuff. But a lot of my beliefs are like really similar to everything. So I obviously have a lot of friends that aren't LDS, and I think it's exactly what you just said. That a lot of people think that education and stuff should come first, and then if they do find someone, then they do. But if they don't, then that's okay too. I think personally that family is really important, and that people, if they feel that the time is right, that they should do it, but not just because they think that I don't know how to put it, um, like not being, I don't know, they shouldn't feel forced into it, but they should know that they it's like looked upon that most people believe that families consist of like moms and dads and children, and that um, education doesn't always have to come first. I don't know. That was probably confusing. I had it in my head and then I couldn't get it out.
Now it's really cool. I'm glad that we have somebody that can bring in a different perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the next question was, why do you think it is
You'll
important that
have an opportunity to really learn a lot about um, how the church does view families, because it's really central to not only what we feel like is important in our lives on earth, but we feel like it's going to go beyond this earth, and that after we die, we're going to be able to be with our families. So that's a really central point of doctrine in our religion, that a lot of people don't really know how they feel about it. They don't know what's going to happen to families and marriages after this life, and we have a pretty firm idea about what is going to happen. But I'm really glad that you're in our group and we can get your perspective. You'll have a very different perspective than me, who's been a member of the church all my life and pretty much associate with mostly members of the church. But anyways, I was trying to think. Oh, so I was just going to tell you that so I have my son. He just turned 24. He got married this past month, and his best friend, who I consider my bonus son, he had been dating the same girl for over 2 years, and he was really kind of I don't know if you would call him, like, you know, he had fear of commitment or whatever was going on with him. But he, served a mission. He believes in the church and he believes in the gospel and the principles of the family. But he was still not quite understanding what that meant to him in his life. And so I actually sent him that talk that Julie Beck that we just studied for. It was in this class, right? The one by Julie Beck. About families, and I sent him that talk so that he could see that he needed to start thinking more seriously about marriage. Anyway, so I think that it's happening within the young people of the church too, where they're just kind of, thinking of their families as something that will happen at some point, and they're, they want to get their education, they want to establish themselves before they jump into family life, and they're not making it necessarily a priority. But the good is he just proposed to his girlfriend, and so they're going to get married in January, and I'm really happy for them. So, sorry, I'm talking a lot.
Oh, you're fine. Sorry, I started talking because I thought it cut. I thought you were done, but it just like had a glip and it like cut. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
I didn't even hear that, so that's okay.
Oh, okay. I like it. It was quiet, and so I was like, oh, okay, we'll go to the next question. And then I was like, oh wait, no. You're like, I don't know, my computer is being retarded, but
That's okay.
anyways. So if we're good to go on to the next one, it says, why do you think it is important that we study the doctrine of the family at the beginning of the semester as opposed to the end? What did I say? I said that I think if I have the right class, I'm hoping, because all my classes are family stuff, that we're going to learn a lot about the threats of the family in this class. And so I think that we're learning about the doctrine in the beginning just so we know how to like counteract those threats, and so we can put into place of like what we can do within our families to strengthen them and to not fall to those threats. But
yeah, I think that's exactly right, that we have to recognize what Heavenly Father really feels about families so that we can recognize when there are people that are saying things that are in opposition to that. So, yeah. I think you stated it very well. Go ahead, Paige, sorry.
And I said something similar too, and I also said that, so it's always in the back of our heads when we're learning throughout the semester, just so we know, like Shay said, if we're talking about something that threatens the family, that in our mind we know what we can do to stick together and strengthen ourselves.
I like that. So then the next question was, what doctrine or what principle, if understood, would motivate a Latter-day Saint to advocate for the family? I thought that maybe if we really understood all of the blessings of Abraham and just everything that we really receive when we're married and how much of a blessing it is, and especially to be married in the temple, and when you live righteously, I think if we all really understood that, we'd be more, I guess, apt to go and like share about it. I think it was in one of the talks where it talked about some of the stuff that the blessings of Abraham, and just like all the, just what we believe of, become gods and goddesses, in the celestial kingdom. But that's just what I thought a little bit.
I think those are really good thoughts. And I'm on the back end of it, and so I can look back and I can bear absolute solid witness of the blessings of family, because I've raised four kids, and I've raised four awesome kids, and the gospel has really helped me do that. And the joy that I'm receiving now from having adult children who are living good lives, making good choices. I have a son serving a mission in South Africa. I have a son that got married in the temple recently, like I mentioned. My one daughter served a mission, another daughter doing well in college and school with a strong testimony. And it's really an awesome place to be in my life. And I know that those blessings are worth it. They're totally worth it. They're worth having families and staying in a marriage that's strong. My husband and I are happier now than we've ever been in our marriage. And so I know that this is what brings joy. The family brings joy. And it's sometimes hard to see if you look around you and you see marriages that are struggling, or you see families that are struggling. It's hard to know that if you just persevere and push through and try and live the gospel, that at the back end, like even in this life, it's awesome. and beyond this life, it's going to be 100 times better. So that's my feeling coming from where I am. How about you, Paige?
So I wasn't really sure what to put for this one, but I did write down that knowing that families can be together forever, because I think that should kind of get people to want to work through their tough times instead of just breaking up. Because I think that too many families right now just give up or don't try harder to keep themselves together. So if they, like people that aren't members, if they believed that they'll always be together and not just right now, that they'd want to try harder and make their families stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like what both of you guys said, yeah. I think people are scared sometimes to, like, I don't know, I guess some people, like, marriage is kind of like an unknown thing. You haven't experienced it before, and it can be kind of scary, but then I think once you step in and you realize those blessings that come, then it makes it all that much better.
Yeah.
But so it says at the end of your discussion, have one or all group members make a summary statement. Okay, and post it to the discussion board. So I think that's everything. Is that am I missing anything? Do you guys remember seeing anything that we missed or?
Nope, I think we did good.
Okay.
I think we're supposed to go for, it said 20 to 40 minutes, and we're almost exactly at 30 minutes, so I think that meets the requirement.
Yeah.
And I'll just put the summary in. Yeah, I think that you all had really good things to say.
Yeah, you guys too. So, do you know, is this like our group for the whole semester? Is that how it works?
I think so. I think that if people add or drop or need to change, then we might gain a few or, that kind of thing.
Okay.
If this is working for us, then this will be our group. I probably should mention next week. I'm going to Salt Lake. I live in San Diego. Where are you guys from, by the way? Where are you guys?
California originally, but
Okay.
I'm in Rexburg right now.
You are? You're up there?
Yeah. My husband's going to school and I'm doing online, taking care of the baby.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to go.
And I'm in New Hampshire, and that's where I grew up and still am.
Wow, East Coast.
So I'm on a different time schedule than you guys.
Yeah.
Then what time is it there then, right now?
So right now it's like 5:30.
Yeah, it's in the evening. You're 3 hours ahead.
Okay.
I'm in San Diego. I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 2:30 here. So you're 3 hours ahead of me.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big change. So next week, next Wednesday, I'm actually flying to Salt Lake, and so I think that my flight is at 3 o'clock, so I probably won't be able to do a 2 o'clock meeting. I could do it at noon, which would be like 1 o'clock for you, Shay, and then it's like 4 o'clock for you, Paige?
Wait, so you're 3 hours behind?
Yeah. So if we did it at noon, it would be 3 for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's fine for me.
Will that work?
That's fine.
Is that okay? Can we do it at noon next week? Well, 1 o'clock Mountain Time. I guess we should.
We're all different times. So
yeah, so we're gonna have
that's
to
fine.
Okay. So 1 o'clock Mountain Time next week.
Okay.
That would be great for me, so I can still participate and catch my flight. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So 1 Mountain Time. Then
1 o'clock Mountain Time. Yes.
next week. Okay, sounds good.
All right. Okay.
All right. I'll post up the link to the meeting.
Great.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
See you guys next week.
All right.